Welcome back to Fox 5's On the Hill. You know, in this era of misinformation and disinformation, our political system can get hijacked by all the chaos. George Washington University political science professor hopes to make sense out of the chaos and dispel some of the myths about our democracy with a brand new book. It is called We Hold These Truths, How to Spot the Myths that are holding America back. It is our pleasure to welcome back Casey Burgat. He is the author and a poli-sci professor. Casey, this really strikes to the heart of a question a lot of people have right now about how do we get past the division and the divide of our politics. What did you uncover in going through the preparation for this book about where we are right now before you could proceed on maybe trying to answer the question?
I think that was the easy part, right? Uncovering just we walk out on the streets, you don't talk about religion and politics, and right now there is such division within this country, not only at the highest levels where we see Democrats and Republicans disagreeing with each other, but now it's like every single community, every state, every city just literally sees the world in completely different ways. And to me, the only way past that, we've had eras of polarization before, but this one's different in that it's identity level. Everything we think about, whether we know it or not, is through a political lens. And to me, the only way to get past that is to recognize that we need to start from the ground up, from a civics education type of mindset, to then break down a lot of the misconceptions and misperceptions that continue to exacerbate this division that we all say we hate, but then we take actions that actually only perpetuate the dysfunction.
One of the big differences now, though, is unlike in the past, we have a real-time discussion going on almost every second of every day on social media, with fuels, you know, some of this in large part. What are some of the myths that you say, you know, are existing within our political system right now that people are just assuming to be true?
The social media one's a big one, and I see this with my students every single day, who we curate our own echo chambers. But we don't just seek out the most trusted information. We seek out, at a brain level, information that confirms all of the things that we want to believe about our politics. And then when we see information, if we do it all, that really checks us on what we're already thinking, we dig our heels in even further. But the problem here is with social media, and I tell my students this all the time as well, is that algorithms don't lie. They don't lie. They give us everything we want. Yes, more extreme versions of it. Yes, for the attention. Yes, to keep our fingers on the doom scrolling apps that we have. But we are the ones that set that up, which means we have agency in what information we consume, what channels we watch, what newspapers we watch, what our social media feeds look like. And we never need to forget that. We can't just blame social media and say, hey, it's the worst thing that ever happened. It's actually us that really curate those feeds that perpetuate this doom scrolling.
You know, one of the things I've pointed out to folks over time is that a lot of people go to social media right now not looking for information, but looking for affirmation. They want to see their own opinions reflected back at them. If somebody says, oh, well, you know, I watched this one conservative TV channel, and then I watched another, you know, progressive TV channel, so that makes me balanced. That's not really getting you there, though. So how can folks get past that dysfunction and really make a critical step to find balance?
The number one through line throughout the books, and the myths in the books talk about everything from all of our institutions, from the presidency, the Supreme Court, lobbyists, money in politics, even the filibuster. We do all of this. But the through line within the book is you gotta show up. You got to actually take steps to involve yourself at the more local level. When I say politics right now, everyone in the world thinks Donald Trump. Everyone in the world thinks Congress. You see the picture right now with the Capitol building. But politics at its core is the most local level of engagement, not only with your elected leaders, but with each other. And you find balance by going into conversations with an open mind, where you literally come in asking questions, not to hear the answer that you want back to you, but really to see where people are coming from. And the minute you do that, you humanize not only the politics about us, but each other. And then different conversations can result. My therapist Weiss tells me all the time that everyone wants the same things. We all want clean water. We all want good schools. We all want safe streets. And then the politics is about how to get those things.
Yeah.
And so discounting the half of the population as wrong or misguided or as part of a cult, you're already lost. Yeah. We need to get back to the humanization of that effort.
A lot of books identify the problems. Not many of them try to seek solutions. This one does. It's called We Hold These Truths by Casey Burgat. It's been our pleasure to have you back on the program, Casey. We'll talk to you again real soon.
Thank you. Thank you.